Yo, what's up, you guys? Teddy Striker here, and in August, we're finally getting Khamzat Chimaev versus Drake du Plessis for the middleweight title. And one narrative that I've been hearing is that if Khamzat Chimaev doesn't finish Drake du Plessis in the first round, it's over for him. He's done. He's going to lose the fight, and Drake du Plessis is going to take over from there. Even Drake du Plessis' coach has basically said the same thing. It seems like everyone's kind of thinking Khamzat Chimaev really has one round to finish him, because if he doesn't, he's going to gas out, and then Drake is going to finish him. And to be honest, for a while, I kind of had that same belief, but after looking at Khamzat's fights and really thinking about it, I've changed my mind. I don't think that Khamzat Chimaev is a one-round fighter. I think that in the Usman fight, what happened was when he fought Kamaru Usman, like how he fights everyone else, like how he fought Kevin Holland, Robert Whittaker, the Li Jingliang, all these guys. He went out there to try to finish him, take him down, take his back, and try to submit him, but he couldn't do that. And for a whole round, he tried that, and usually everyone basically gets out of there, except for Gilbert Burns, obviously. But outside of that, it's all been first round finishes, and he couldn't get Usman out of there. So in round two, what happened was Khamzat was, he was recovering because it was a pretty high pace, but so was Kamaru Usman. There's an effect of fighting a guy that fights at such a high pace, and then following round, you can't just go back and fight at a high pace. You got to pace yourself because you don't want to obviously get fatigued. So I think Kamaru Usman was slowing down to recover and catch his breath, and I think that's why round two was a pretty slow paced round. And Khamzat knew he could get takedowns, so he was, trying to get takedowns to sort of steal the rounds or get the rounds to go in his favor, because he got a takedown in round two on Usman. That really didn't really take that much effort from Khamzat. He just shot a takedown, he got it, and then he just held position for the rest of the round. And he didn't really need to use that much energy. He knew, okay, Usman is going to be tough to finish in the first round. Am I going to go out there and burn even more energy and potentially, get fatigued and gas myself out? Or am I just going to, kind of relax and see what the striking is all about, because I've had such a dominant round and Usman is going to be recovering. So, I'm not going to put my foot on the gas pedal. And as for the Gilbert Burns fight, Khamzat Chimaev actually, he was, in my opinion, nearly winning every round. He won the first round pretty clearly. The second round he was winning up until he got knocked down, and then he won the third round. And with Gilbert Burns, he got dropped really bad, and he got hurt like never before, and he was able to recover and go in the third round and still fight really well. And that was a high-paced fight. That was really high-paced, and Khamzat managed to win the last round. So I don't really think that the narrative of Khamzat really having no cardio is going to be that valid. Although in the Gilbert Burns fight, he didn't really grapple that much, but still, it was still a high pace for the striking as a grappler that Khamzat is. And obviously Khamzat knows that it's going to be a 5-round fight. He's going to come in the shape of his life because it's also a title fight. And we've seen plenty of fighters look like they were kind of getting tired in round 3 or as the fight went on. But then when they fought in a 5-round fight, they looked incredible. I mean, look at DDP, for example. When he fought Derek Brunson, he didn't really look that great when he fought there until he looked like he was gasping for air. But then he goes out there and he dominates Sean Strickland for 5 rounds in his last fight, and looks better in round 5 than he did in the first round. And then another recent example is Diego Lopez. He didn't really look that great versus Dan Ige, but then he did go 5 rounds with Alexander Volkanovski, and he won the 4th round versus Volk in a very competitive fight against one of the best fighters ever. So overall, I don't think that Khamzat is a 1-round fighter. I think that he can maintain a pace for 5 rounds and still be as effective without really changing too much. And but also one thing I do want to point out is I feel like Khamzat Chimaev, this one attribute isn't really being talked about as much, and it's his knockout power. I think this might be a bit of a hot take, but I think Khamzat Chimaev, in terms of punching power, is the hardest puncher that Drake du Plessis is gonna fight, and has fought in the UFC. Because you look at his opponents, right? Du Plessis' opponents, and he fought there until really, he was powerful in the welterweight division, but at middleweight, he wasn't really that powerful. It seemed like a lot of the guys were able to take his shots really well. And then you look at Downtown Mays. I mean, he was mainly a welterweight, and he wasn't really known for his power. Then you had Derek Brunson, a powerful guy, right? Explosive, but I don't know if he was really that powerful. You know, he was hitting guys, and they were taking a lot of those shots really well. Then you have Israel Adesanya. I mean, Adesanya is he is powerful. He does have a lot of speed, and he can pull you out with one punch. But oftentimes, with Pereira, he hit him with like two huge haymakers. But mainly when he drops you, you're probably still gonna be there, but like it's probably gonna be a TKO. Then you have Sean Strickland, who's really not known for his power at all, and yeah, those are pretty. And then you have Robert Whittaker, and the thing with Robert Whittaker is he fought someone that Khamzat Chimaev also fought in Ikram Aliskerov, and Robert Whittaker hit him with a huge overhand, and that didn't even drop him. And then he followed up and he hit him with an uppercut, and still Ikram Aliskerov was still conscious. But then you look at Khamzat Chimaev, and he's hitting Ikram Aliskerov with one uppercut, and Ikram is out cold. I mean, he's stiff as a board. But not only that, also Khamzat Chimaev flatline KO'd GM3 at middleweight, and GM3 fought supposedly a guy who hits harder than Francis Ngannou, Joe Pyfer, and Joe Pyfer clipped him multiple times, and he didn't knock him out cold. Like Jerome Mearshart was TKO'd by a guy who hits harder than Francis Ngannou. Meanwhile, Khamzat Chimaev hits him with one punch, and the dude goes out cold. Israel Adesanya is not knocking out Jerome Mearshart with one punch. He might knock him out, but definitely not with one punch. Never in a million years will Sean Strickland knock Jerome Mearshart out with one punch. Rob Whittaker's not doing that. None of these guys that fought Ricky du Plessis are really that hitting with and putting people out cold with one punch. And I think that's something Ricky du Plessis is gonna have to be worried about. Not only is he fighting someone who can actually take him down and finish him on the ground, but he's fighting someone who can put him out cold with one punch. Now, Chimaev isn't the best striker in the world, but Ricky du Plessis is preparing for Chimaev to shoot for the legs in the first 10 seconds, and he's preparing his jiu-jitsu, his grappling defense, getting back up to his feet. He's training his conditioning. Is he really preparing for that one-punch knockout power of Chimaev? I don't know, and that could actually be a bigger threat because he might not be thinking about it as much.